Creatures. The children. The children appear to be twisted mutations of Darkspawn. They have set even Harlocks, Genlocks, and Augurs to fleeing. The monsters appear first as childographics, gruesome larval creatures that wriggle on the ground. This is the only vulnerable stage of the development. To squish them is to do the world a favor. When grubs devour the flesh of slain darkspawn, a dramatic change occurs. To the sound of tearing flesh, legs emerge. The child can now run down its prey with startling speed. The disciples of darkspawn that have become sapient after some sort of process of awakening, after which they choose their own names. We've had that, haven't we? They are cunning, powerful, and don't influence of a non-awakened darkspawn. The disciples are split into two factions. Some serve the architect, some the mother. Inferno Golem. It is so much better when it's on fire. Centuries ago, during the Dwarven Empire's golden age, dwarves commanded vast armies of golems. Golems guarded the dikes and patrolled every branch of the deep roads. As men of steel and stone, they were eternal, indestructible, and perfectly obedient. But Paragon Hirol was not satisfied. He wanted Kal'Hirol's golems to be greater. In his forge, he gave them hearts like furnaces that would burn evermore. Thus became the Inferno Golems, with eyes that burned and veins coursing with molten lava. Culture and history. The Fortress of Kal'Hirol. The Fortress of Kal'Hirol was established by Paragon Hirol and became known as a center of learning for smiths. Its workshops and where Paragon Hirol conceived his famous improvements to golem resilience and power, and where Hirol's favorite student developed a method for storing refined lyrium that is still used today. These breakthroughs brought Kal'Hirol great prosperity, its passageways glittering with gold and silver. For decades, the Tyke was the favored home of apprentice smiths. Unfortunately, as time wore on, only the richest could afford to train there. When the Darkspawn came, Kal'Hirol was among the first of the great Tykes to fall. Our people still mourn the loss. From writings of Shaper Ezerain. The Paragon Hirol. Paragon Hirol was born a warrior. He excelled at arms and strategy, but was not content. Hirol believed he was born outside the caste system, able to be anything he chose, a warrior, a smith, even a noble. He would not rest until he'd mastered the art of war, the art of smithing, and the art of rule. He was eccentric, maybe even mad. Some said he'd taken too many blows to the head in the provings. Yet Hirol accomplished what he set out to do. He trained under the greatest smiths and the greatest warriors, and his achievements in both fields were so great that the assembly could not help but make him a paragon. Thus noble house Hirol was born. The Great Strife. And Ruadan pursued her. She fled into the earth and prayed to Koth to preserve her. He sent deliverance. They called themselves the dwarves, and they protected Kayla. Remember Kivil. May Ruadan forever be bound here. The Vigil. Vigils keep... The Vigil cells connect to the deep roads far below. Evidence suggests that the Avars and dwarves traded in secret. A breach of promise is made to the Winter Imperium in the days before the Darkspawn. Characters. Sigrun. A wise man once told me never to argue with someone better armed than the entire warrior caste on parade. Sigrun is a member of the Legion of the Dead, warriors exiled from Orzammar and sent on to suicide missions against the Darkspawn. The Warden Commander found Sigrun fleeing a Darkspawn next in Kal'Hirol, the last survivor of a group. She has broken the Legion's oath by not fighting to her death. Sigrun joined Sigyn to destroy the Darkspawn nest. Sigrun is fascinated by the surface world. She collects little curious items, I suppose, from all over Thedas. Velanna. An encounter with Velanna's former clanmate Maran revealed that the clan had cast Velanna out and denounced her anti-human crusade. Books and songs. Dailan's journal. 2. Pluitanis. Most southern Tykes have fallen. Varan Tyke and Kal Barosh has overrun. 4,000 lives lost. The Darkspawn are almost at the gates of Kal'Hirol. The fortress must be evacuated. 4. Pluitanis. There will be an exodus to Orzammar. Many nobles are appalled, Orzammar being a trade city so close to the surface. They fear losing their stone sense to the surface vapors, a ridiculous notion, but Orzammar is the easiest to defend. 7. Pluitanis. Scouts have sighted the horde. It's vast. To outrun the Darkspawn, the commanders say we must leave now with nothing beyond bare essential. 7 Pluitanis. Addendum. I have volunteered to remain behind with a contingent of men. We'll hold off the Darkspawn so others can escape. Ancestors have mercy. 9 Pluitanis. The castless are still here, forgotten in the panic. They are 500 strong. If even half can be inspired to fight, they'll make an army. There's a small chance, that this will make the difference. 10 Pluitanis. 200 men and women. Ancestors grant that 200 are enough. 15 Pluitanis. The Darkspawn have pushed us back to the inner keep. Only a handful of us survived, but we've held them back 5 days. We could not have done this without the castless. No, not castless. To call them castless would be a mistake. The sacrifice must not be forgotten. Ancient Vows. There is an inscription in the stone. And so you are defeated by a Varan dwarf bound by the blood of your people. May they hold you here forever. Whatever was imprisoned here scratched a message into the stone. Kavil, nothing will hold me. These walls will rot before I expire. When they do, I shall defame your gods, call your mortal shells to serve me, and hunt down every last of your kinsmen, Avar and Dwarf. Well, we stopped him from doing that, didn't we? Notes. A scout's report. A letter from the architect? Is that who? Uther, I know this has tested your patience. You first gave your blood years ago to further our common dream. I know at times it seems we're going nowhere. Trust me, Uther, I echo your frustration. Vigil's keep was a setback, yes, but minor. I intend to keep my promise to you. Perhaps you should venture above ground. The greenery and fresh air would do your spirit good. I don't think we've read that. A scout's report. The defences have failed and the golems are lost. The way is clear from the pillars of Kadash to Kal'Hirol. The Darkspawn are 3 days from Kal'Hirol, forest most. Prepare the tag. That didn't go well, did it? Darran Lyl's Missive. Elmar, I found what we've been looking for. Better even. Stop digging and pack up your gear. I'm heading back to camp. Meet me there. We'll go to Maranthin, find a buyer and strike it rich. Darran Lyl. Or Lyle. Materials for working with golem shelves. What a day! First I'll need some wool padding. Working with golem shells can chafe, don't you know? Second, delirium potion made by a master to ensure the soul that once inhabited this armor is washed away for good. You wouldn't want that golem coming back, would you? Also some pure iron, pure, mind you, no imperfections at all, and a packet of ground blood lotus. Maybe some soup? No? No. Materials for working with Heartwood. Those blasted elves didn't write anything down, and the Dalish are positively unfriendly. I could use some oil to make the wood more malleable, some catcutters to string the bow, or to make a handle for the shield, and a flawless ruby, always handy and certainly pretty. Oh, and I know, a Grandmaster lightning rune. I do love weight.